You know, just being honest, like I always try to do, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, it just really wasn't doing anything for me. I wasn't excited. I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I guess it looks cool. I like Kingsley Ben-Adir, and I'll see it when I see it. So that's just how I felt when I was going into this film. But how did it turn out? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Bob Marley One Love movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Bob Marley One Love, based off of Bob Marley. Of course, I have heard of this late great man before, but I did not know the impact that he had on the world. Like I said in my intro, I just really wasn't excited about this movie. And to be honest, when I was showing up to the theater to check it out, it actually felt like a chore. Did I still feel that way afterwards? We're gonna talk about it. But in the meantime, this is being directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green. And I was like, that name sounds familiar. You see that trailer in the background? Yes. If we scroll down and look at his filmography, he did direct the film King Richard, starring Will Smith, that came out in 2021. Fantastic film. I absolutely loved it. Now, he was also a part of We Own the City that debuted on HBO in 2022. If I had to be honest, I really didn't care for that show. I was looking forward to it, but I was highly disappointed with it, especially with all the talent that was involved. But I did like King Richard, like I said. But if you've seen any of these other films or projects that you see right here, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, I cannot say that I am a die-hard Bob Marley fan. Of course, he did pass away in the 80s before I was even born. But I do remember him as a young boy coming up, little teenage years, young man years, even today. He did have somewhat of a great impact, but I didn't know how big of an impact it was until I saw this film. And it's funny because even though that I'm saying I'm not like a diehard fan of Bob Marley, I've always had respect for him. I never had any disdain for his character in any shape or form, but I do remember a lot of his songs. They just are stuck in my head, downloaded, embedded, and I would sing them here and there everywhere I go from time to time. If I heard it on the radio, if I heard it on the computer, I would jam a Bob Marley song. So maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about as far as me saying that I'm a fan or not, but I just never took a deep dive into the man's life. Now, I am a big fan of Kingsley Ben-Adir. I think he is a fantastic actor. One of the last times I've seen him was Secret Invasion, one of the latest Marvel Studios Disney Plus shows. I did not like Secret Invasion. It was really disappointing towards the end, but Kingsley Ben-Adir did do a great job. And he also did a decent job in Barbie. I remember him in that. However, as Malcolm X in One Night in Miami, I do have a review for that film on my channel. You guys can go check that out. I think he did a lovely job in that film. And again, if you've seen him in any of these other properties here, let me know what you thought down below. He was in King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. I don't remember him. Do you? Let me know in the comment section. But guys, my expectations for this film were mid to mediocre. I wasn't excited. And like I said, it kind of felt like a chore for some reason when I was showing up to the theaters. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. The story of how reggae icon Bob Marley overcame adversity and the journey behind his revolutionary music. What I'm thinking about right now is for most moviegoers, when they see a film, they would rather the movie start out bad and end on a good note, rather it's starting out great and end horribly. I say that because this film has just the perfect beginning and ending with this opening and ending credits. I thought that it was the perfect bookend to tell this story on a small aspect of Bob Marley's life. And it was just the icing and the cherry on top of the cake, in my opinion. It set the tone at the very beginning and wrapped everything up at the very end beautifully, and just really did shine a light on Kingsley Ben-Adir's performance when it comes to Bob Marley. And I say that because Kingsley Ben-Adir is a great actor, like I said, but it took me a while to accept him as Bob Marley. When I have the image of Bob Marley in my head and I also look at Kingsley Ben-Adir, I just cannot relate the two. I can't combine those two figures. It just seems a bit off-putting for me. However, the way that they wrapped it up and showing real life footage of Bob Marley compared to Kingsley Ben-Adir's performance that we saw just a few moments prior to that, it was perfect. And I was able to embrace it all, saying to myself, okay, he got all the mannerisms down. This was a great movie. This was a great performance. This was great casting. But not only was Mr. Adir very great in this film with his performance, I thought his wife, Rita, played by Lashana Lynch, was even better. She was phenomenal. I haven't seen her in everything that she's done before in the past, but from what I have seen, this is the best that I've ever seen her perform. When I think about it, the only other properties I've seen Lashana Lynch in is Captain Marvel, The Marvels, The Woman King, and also Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, I also did see her in No Time to Die. I don't know, we can have a conversation about it. Some people may have liked her more in The Woman King, but for me and my personal taste, she was my favorite in Bob Marley One Love. She did a fantastic job as Bob Marley's wife, Rita. She knocked it out of the park. She actually had the best performance in the entire film to me. That's just my opinion. If you disagree, please respectfully let me know down in the comment section below. And her performance really did come to life as she was clashing with her husband about certain activities that they were both doing that they should not be participating in a marriage. I don't want to spoil that for you here, and it's possibly obvious. I'm trying to talk around it, but those emotions really did pour out. And I was eating it all up saying, my goodness gracious, I did not know you had all that talent under your belt. I want to see more. You go, girl, you go. And on top of their performances with their thick accents, that is something that I did enjoy throughout the whole film, throughout the whole cast. There are a lot of Jamaican cast in this film, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just really good at imitating Jamaican thick accents. But I thought that was another cherry on top that added more deep levels of authenticity to this whole film. It really did bring it to life. And I was saying, man, it really does feel like these are the people that were involved in Rita and Bob Marley's life, or it seems like they are actually natives from Jamaica. It was really convincing. I also like the fact that it felt like this was filmed on location, not just in Jamaica, but around the world when they're going to England, Berlin, or going on their global tours. It really felt like they was there and they wasn't playing any type of imitation games or anything like that. So that just made everything feel more pure and real from my perspective. Another great aspect of this film is seeing how all the music came together and what were the small things that influenced Bob Marley to make such great records that would sell out across the world. In particular, his album Exodus, I do remember a song or two from that one. And that was great seeing the business side behind everything, the sales, the marketing, and again, how all the music came together. It was just really nice to see that he was really influenced by his wife, Rita, when he was in England, like, hey, I'm trying to write this record, I'm trying to record, but things are just not really firing at all cylinders. Baby, I need you to come to me right now and be by my side. And as soon as she shows up, everything has just started flowing naturally off of his tongue onto the page, onto the guitar, onto the record. And that just goes to show when you have somebody that you truly love that's just down for you and they're in your presence, you can do amazing, beautiful things. And that's just what his wife Rita did in this film and made it that much better. Also, again, I knew that Bob Marley had a big impact on people, but I did not know he has such a global appeal, such a global reach. And I kind of feel ignorant saying that, but man, he was loved by everybody. And that's just really warm and touching that everyone embraced him so much. And even against all the problems and all the drama and adversity that was thrown his way, he still was able to stand 10 toes down and not give up with this mission of trying to create peace between so many different political parties, even when death was lurking right around the corner, and it was. And when I say I was bobbing my head from here and there, I don't want to write this off that this film is a biopic musical concert, because it's not. And I've heard people make those same complaints with other biopic movies, but no, that's not the case here. They didn't just beat you over the head with it. And even if they did, that wouldn't be a problem for me. But if that's something that you really don't care for, I don't think you'll have an issue if you take any time to go see this movie. It was well balanced across the board, in my opinion, on how everything popped off into fruition. It is a bit violent, especially at the beginning, and I did not expect that at all. I was like, whoa, this is like a super hard drama. I wasn't expecting this. But again, it's balanced throughout the whole film very, very well. So you don't have to worry about being squeamish or taking little children, but there was a scene or two that did catch me off guard at the very beginning. But going in with low expectations, guys, low to mediocre, I have to say that I really did enjoy this film. The only thing that I really didn't care for is with it being a runtime of around 1 hour and 44 minutes, the pacing wasn't the best. It did seem a bit long at times. I was like, okay, how long are we going to be here? This film only is 1 hour and 44 minutes. Why does it seem so long? So that was a bit distasteful. And that was just another aspect that I did not understand when it comes to his father and a certain ring that he would carry around. He said that it was from a certain country in Africa, but through certain imagery, that's not the case. And I think that it had to do with his father. That was a bit confusing to me, and I didn't really understand that fully. So if someone does, please leave a comment, a spoiler tag, and then, you know, drop it down in a bunch and put an explanation there at the bottom. I would really appreciate it. But other than that, guys, I just wasn't blown away from this film saying that it's the best of the year or anything like that. But I thoroughly did enjoy it. If you are a fan of Bob Marley, I think you will too. Also, it showed that his son was really involved with the making of this film, showed up on set every day. And I really do believe that after seeing this film. And it was really good. I think everyone will have a good time watching it. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end. But for now, guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, help me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. I'm that close. I would really, really appreciate it. But guys, if I had to rate Bob Marley One Love out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yes, a solid 8 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.